it's pretty obvious that after Cataclysm, we're going to get Mr. Pandaria. I also know we currently have so many options of versions of WoW to play. Want vanilla or even hardcore? There's Classic Era. Want the nostalgia of vanilla but with better classes, new content and more? Then there's Season of Discovery. Want to punch Deathwing in the face? Then you got Cataclysm. Want absolutely everything from the last 20 years and new challenging content every few months? Then you got Retail. Where is all of this heading though? We can exclude Classic Era and Retail for a minute because it's kind of obvious where they're going. One's staying where it is and the other just keeps plodding along from expansion to expansion. What does life after Season of Discovery and Cataclysm look like though? For many people, even Cataclysm was one expansion too far, and Mr. Pandaria, while it's my personal favourite expansion of all time, is not for everyone. It will be a returning point for many players, but it'll also be a stepping off point for many others. But Scott, I hear you say, we'll have Classic Plus by the time we need to worry about that. Firstly, no. Secondly, see what I said first. Everyone's view on what Classic Plus is completely different. Some people consider the Season of Discovery a Classic Plus version of the game, whereas I personally see Season of Discovery miles away from what Classic Plus should actually be. I'm not going to get into what I want from a Classic Plus because I'll not only upset most of you, but also will be here all bloody day. Blizzard, stay a while and listen, because there's something that so many people have been crying out for now for months: a reset. Everyone loves fresh and you love minimal effort with maximum return. So what's the downside? It can't just be 2019's Classic going to the end of ICC again though. There was some stupid changes you made over those years, and some that you just waited too long to actually do. Also, we don't want this to be going on for 4 to 5 years, let's just get through it quick. Let's have quality of life additions that don't have negative effects on the game. Keep them simple so you have a minimal amount of work to do. Let's not reinvent the wheel or try and do things too differently. Classic from 2019 to ICC in Wrath of the Lich King was solid. Let's just make it a tad better and ignore all the vanilla purists that cry out for no changes. They still have their Classic Era servers. If you want to be really nice, throw them a fresh Era server with no changes and let them fill their boots. That's weird, Blizzard are actually ringing me. Yo. Oh, you're somehow watching this video before it's been edited or uploaded and it's not even a live stream. But much like a Disney Star Wars project, it just had to happen for the story to happen, even though it makes no sense at all. Alright, great. Well, yeah, let me tell you exactly how I would handle the December 2024 Classic 2.0 launch. That was weird. First of all, time frame. Nothing should outstay its welcome, and no, the leveling should not be slow and painful. If you want slow and painful leveling, go play Classic Era servers. This will be bare minimum double XP the entire way. Increase the amount of loot drops from the bosses, make everything post-nerf right from the word go, and each phase lasts 4 to 5 weeks. There can be a couple of weeks grace period at launch for leveling, so the phase don't really start until a couple of weeks in. Then it's 4 to 5 clears of MC before BWL, 4 to 5 clears of now both of those per week for AQ, and yeah, you get the picture. I want to make it perfectly clear here, whilst having multiple characters for people will be a thing, it should feel like the pacing is so fast that if we was to consider one full cycle being from launch to the end of Icecrown Citadel with a 30% buff being present, that would be a season. Then in Season 1 you might roll a warrior, then when ICC has been cleared and Season 2 starts where it all just happens again, you might do a hunter this time. I mean, doing it like this will be just over a year per season. Anyway, that's how I would do the timing. Now, there will be some really important things to consider. How do people jump in halfway through without having to wait for the next season to start or even the next expansion to start? So, for example, Black Temple is the current content and you want to join and get geared to get in there, but you've missed everything. Well, there needs to be really sensible but rewarding catch-up mechanics, but not so rewarding that people raiding the current content feel compelled to do them as well. So using my specific example of going in Black Temple, that's tier 6. So tier 5 gear from SSC and TK would be available for Badges of Justice, so you can spam as many heroics a day as you want, because by the way, this whole season will have random dungeon finder, right from launch as well. More on that in a bit. Look, let's not worry too much about, oh my god, that's not fair, I farmed SSC every week to get that trinket, and now anyone can get it from doing 4 to 5 heroics. Listen, you ain't been farming SSC for months, you've done a few runs in there, and now the content's irrelevant anyway because Black Temple's out. So this whole thing is meant to be fun. Just bang all previous content gear on a vendor and let people farm it from 5-mans. This is probably where some clever dick in the comments says, yeah, but there'll be items like DST from Gruul which you'd use for the whole expansion. So what? Shut up. It just doesn't matter. This is a game, it's meant to be fun. This is a season, it's meant to be fast. This does get a little bit trickier when we think about the vanilla portion of the game because there is no currency that exists throughout it, like badges in TBC or emblems in Wrath. Best bet really is just to add a currency to all the level 60 dungeons, so a new type of badge or emblem. I also wouldn't want to see any of those Titan Ruined Abomination heroics in Wrath either. You can leave that out and just have regular old face roll heroics giving emblems that you'll buy previous tier items with. So that's the timeline and accessibility, but what about a seasonal theme? You don't want every season being identical, so you could have themes where each season is unique in a way that it doesn't need a ridiculous amount of development time. This could be minor things like a season where you can fly in the old world from 60, or a season where all dungeon mobs have a flat 50% extra HP. You can come up with whatever you want for seasonal themes. It could just be something cool that maybe we're only going to see once every few years. Aside from themes, which isn't actually necessary if I'm completely honest, how about the wider systems? Things that I would personally like to see in this version of the game. Firstly, whilst it's not a system, I would have GDKPs banned like on Season of Discovery. It's a short seasonal server where they just shouldn't be a thing, because gold really should be nowhere near as valuable as it is in the ordinary version of the game. Mining and herbing node spawn should be ridiculously increased, ×2 skill ups from professions, AoE looting, level 20 ground mounts, and you're probably thinking, wait, this is going to be a lot of developer work because all these changes need to happen in expansions where they never happened before. Well, here's the kicker. Even though it's only going to be Wrath, I would actually have the whole thing running on the Cataclysm patch. This would mean from the word go, there's DKs, Draenei's, Blood Elves, Goblins, Worgens. Remember, balance means nothing. This is meant to be fun. I would have it so you can get all the way down to the final talent. So looking at Rep, for example, you can get down to Zealotry at level 60. You can then complete your template at level 70. And what I mean by this is get everything you want in the secondary tree as well. Of course, you could just go through each expansion every few months as it ordinarily would be. So you'll have vanilla talents in the vanilla portion, TBC talents in the TBC portion. But actually, when you think about the Kata talents, size-wise, they're pretty perfect. You're going to get glyph slots during Wrath of the Lich King, so that's not as exciting as talents, but maybe the glyphs was to get spiced up a little bit. The thing is, you don't want to be waiting all the way to the last bit of the season to get all your talent points filled out, so I'd say it's important that they're fully filled out by the time TBC's out. I can't stress enough, there needs to be no balancing. Classes are going to be funky, the damage is going to be sky high in vanilla raids, the healing's going to be nuts, and the tanks will probably be soloing stuff. But that's fine. It's not going to go quite as far as Mop Remix, but you could expect some classes to be absurdly overpowered, being in a level 60 state, with Cataclysm talents. Don't make the content difficult, but if it turns out it's a complete joke like this, just double the health of everything and maybe up the damage by 20% or something. A really simple solution would be to cap all the vanilla 40-man raids to 25, so you don't really need to change a lot. The bosses are going to have more health, you're going to be doing more damage. It'll kind of hopefully balance itself out by only allowing 25 people in the raid. This does mean you can have 25 man from the word go all the way until the end of Wrath of the Lich King. Also, doing it like this means there'll be JC and Inscription, even Archaeology. Why not? I could harp on about every minor change I'd have in from the start, but like I said already, random dungeon finder for sure. I would have the disenchant button in to keep enchants as cheap as possible from the word go, enchanting vellums as well to go alongside that. Basically think about everything we have in Kata already, maybe minus flying, and that's what will be in the seasonal server. It'd be all pre-shattering, of course, so the actual old world. So it would be more in like the first version of the Cataclysm pre-patch where we got the systems first, which we didn't in Classic, I'm talking original, and then the shattering came afterwards. I mean, don't get me wrong, for simplicity's sake, it could just be on the Wrath of the Lich King client instead. It would then remove goblins and worgens, but that's not that important. It would just add a little bit more flavour. There's just so many options for an absolutely low effort version of the game from Blizzard that would, in my opinion, be a massive success. We'd find so much stupid stuff to be able to take advantage of or exploit, however you want to put it. It'd just be a great time. I know it'd probably never happen, or at least not like this, because I don't think Blizzard would take such a risk. They'll just end up doing a fresh relaunch from 2019, almost identically, and it will die before Blackwing Lair comes out. But if they took a little risk like this, I think they'd be surprised. What do you think? Let me know. Be as brutally honest in the comments as possible. Would you play a hyper-accelerated 2019 the end of Wrath of the Lich King server. If you would, even if you wouldn't, be sure to like and subscribe and all that stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.